What's up, everybody? Welcome into this edition of From the 50 here on the Brews on the Balcony Podcast Network, presented by Book It Sports. TJ Weber, Nick Y'all, Zach Zook, Big Web. Big Web had to get his composure about 20 seconds into that show.
Already.
Zook told him a joke, and
Big Web and I started the show about 5 minutes before we went on the air.
Wow.
it's the best thing, though. It's like, we're not going to bullshit. Dad's laughing. I go, we're coming in 20 seconds. He goes, well, I'm going to keep laughing. So, I mean, it's all good. This is part of the show. You love to see it. Guys, welcome into week 2. We are pumped up to have you here. Again, proudly presented by Book It Sports. We just teamed up with them. We're going to be really getting going with them here in the next few months, especially. We're excited to team up with Book It, and you can follow them at Book It HQ. Go online, bookitsports.app. Make sure you sign up for their app today. Nicholas, they're launching November 1st, correct? I see you're already repping the brand.
Yeah, November 1st, launching. Got some things to fill out here within the next month, but it'll be exciting, ready for launch.
All right. Well, good stuff. Boys, how we doing? Week 2.
Oh, man. I'm excited to correct my my numbers.
Bounce back week for Big Web.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was a tough week for Big Web. A couple close games, though. You only missed by half a point on a couple of them, but, it doesn't matter. You lost.
Well, just a couple bad decisions. We got a kicker that can't kick, stuff like that. But,
There were some tough
We turned the
breaks for
page.
week 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we always move on. That's the way you do it. Big Web did get punished this week. You will see that video coming up in just a few short minutes. Again, you can follow us everywhere at From the 50 on Twitter, on Instagram at From the 50 Show. Share this right now for the stream. Get people involved. And if you want to get involved, you can call us 314-877-8597. Leave a voicemail today and let us know what you think for week 2 of the NFL. And real quick, I want to give a shout-out to some great sponsors. First of all, Kay Roberts from RE/MAX Gold. I've told you this plenty of times, and the reason I keep telling you this because she's the best real estate agent in St. Louis. I know firsthand what she can do for me, what she can do for you. She treats everybody like a friend, like a family member, and once you're done, she's going to follow up with you to make sure you're happy with your home purchase or home sale. Again, Kay says, are you ready to make an offer on the home of your dreams? Do you know how to write your own contract? Do you know what you are agreeing to when you sign a contract? How often do you read every contract or agreement that is put in front of you? You need to use a professional real estate agent that can help ensure your sale or purchase of a home is a smooth transition. At the Kay Roberts team, we have over 20 years of experience working with contracts every day. We will also take the time to explain each item in the contract before you sign. We also have access to a network of professionals to answer any questions that you may have during the process. Whether you're buying or selling a home, you should call the Kay Roberts team today at 314-409-4113 or visit the website stlhomes4u.com. Let us help make your transition a smooth one. So, again, Kay Roberts, RE/MAX Gold, we know how great she is. And also Sarah Barron at Family Finance Mortgage. She also helped me and helped Laura and I get our house funded, get the financial stuff figured out. She was always willing to answer the calls late at night, early in the morning, whatever it took. We had questions. She would answer within 5 to 10 minutes. She was that good. And she's also been helping us try to refinance our home as well here in the upcoming months. So Sarah Barron, Family Finance Mortgage, 314-537-1282, online, familyfinanceMortgage.com. Fellas, real quick before we go into storylines for week number 2, what are your thoughts on week 1 overall?
Well, it was a good week. Obviously, for our picks for the most part, aside from Big Web, I think we all went positive, right?
I think so.
Big Web's going to bounce back this week. So, kind of crazy. One of my bigger takeaways was the kicker fiasco one.
Oh, yeah.
We had a couple, half-pointers, and then already on Thursday night, you had Joey Backdoor with the Thursday night cover.
Love to see it, because you're the only one, you and Coop are the only ones that picked the Browns, I feel like.
So I was hashtag not mad that they scored with like 20 seconds left in the game. So, it wasn't great.
Yeah, it's the way it happens, though. I had a feeling that they were going to do that. I don't want to brag. I did call that at the end. It was a back-and-forth game. I mean, Baker looked really good on Thursday Night Football, and it was a good overall week, I think, for the start for Joe Burrow. I think they got their guy now. You kind of saw that. Dad, what are your thoughts on how week 1 went?
No, I think it was pretty crisp football, really, except for a few examples that I got burnt on. But, no, I think, they're really, all in all, I didn't see a ton of turnovers. I saw some interceptions, but there was really hardly any fumbles. It really kind of freaked me out. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So with no preseason football, which we'll get into here in a little bit, it was kind of refreshing to see that people were hanging on to the ball. I thought it was pretty clean, typical week 1 upset here, there, but no, it was out of the chute fairly well. I'd like to see some improvement out of the people who stung me last week, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's get into some storylines. So, Zook, we did kind of talk a little bit about Thursday Night Football, but I know you wanted to jump more into Joe Burrow and kind of his performance. What were your thoughts on his first game against the Browns, his second start in the NFL, and how he performed?
So I'd be lying if I told you I watched much of that Chargers-Bengals game week 1, but I was pretty locked in on Joey B week 2, and one of my biggest takeaway, and I went back and watched the condensed game of the Chargers and the Bengals, and he looked good there, and we talked about it a little bit on the midweek show. Like, even though the Bengals lost on the Randy Bullock, groin pull,
which he was all fine the next day.
Yeah, totally fine. Had
funny.
no problem hit the PAT to cover and bury me on that Thursday night game. That's neither here nor there. But on Thursday night, he just, I think, solidified more of what you saw on Sunday, and we talked about this. The fact that even though the Bengals lost, that city had to be the best day in that city's fandom in over the past, 10 years?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even though they've had some moments and gone to the playoffs, haven't been able to get over the hump and win a playoff game, Joe Burrow is going to be good.
Yeah.
He's going to be a stud. He already was better than Baker. I mean, he's already better than Baker.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the
thing.
thing.
They just played in. Baker threw for more touchdowns and more yards, and had, he won the head-to-head matchup, and it still felt to me like, yeah, Joe Burrow's better.
I will say, though, I mean, the guy threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he threw the ball 60 times.
Yeah.
If anybody throws the ball 60 times in the NFL, you're going to put up big numbers. So I love Joe Burrow. I think he had more poise than you've ever seen Andy Dalton have in the last few years. He looks like he's going to be the guy. They still need to get him some more weapons. They still need to up their defense a little bit. But the fact that he came back in that game, the Browns were looking great early. Like Baker and Odell were hooking up the entire time, and it looked like the Browns were going to run away with it. Burrow kept going. They gave them a chance to get within 1 score at the end of the game. So that did impress me. The guy went into it, losing the game. Probably you're going to be done, but then you make it a 1-possession game with 2 minutes left. It's like his own little 2-minute drill. It was actually really impressive.
And remember this, too. Their third line at the beginning of the year in the offseason was ranked 29th in the league. So, I mean, he's working with a soft line, but maybe they're improving. I don't know, but he's a hell of a quarterback.
The team's terrible. He's carrying them. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in football, and he's kept them in both games they've played. And they should have tied, if not won, the Chargers game. I just feel like, back in the spring was still a Tua guy despite the hip injury. I had Tua as the top quarterback and Joe Burrow as the second best quarterback. I'm just a huge believer in Tua. I still think Tua is going to be good, but I don't feel very good about my stance of Tua is going to be better than Joe just after 2 games in.
Yeah.
That's how good I think Joe Burrow has been, and that's how much he's impressed me. He's such an athlete. And the one thing is, Cincinnati's not changing, right? He's going to have to overcome shitty teams his whole career. And eventually, that excuse is going to go out the window, and people are just going to say, well, did you win? Did you win? Did you win? So that's the thing he's going to have to overcome. But boy, he's so talented. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he doesn't need to because his instincts and his decision-making and his accuracy, they're all just so next level for a guy that's only started 2 years of college football.
Let's move on. So, again, your thoughts on Joe Burrow, let us know in the Facebook line. Dad, you had a take, that was pretty interesting to me, I think, about how some of these players and some of these teams reacted to not having preseason games, not having really practice games to get people ready. What are your thoughts on how it's gone?
Well, I'll tell you, hats off to the guys who did show up strong and ready to play football, but there was about 40% of the league, I'll say, maybe 35% of the league that was not the whole league, but certain players, you got to have some preseason. You got to have practice. I'm talking about practice, man. I'm talking about practice.
Pull out the Allen Iverson.
Not the game. I'm talking about practice, man. I'm talking about practice. We need practice. Guys like Mike McCarthy.
Oh, God.
You get out. You got to have your head in the game, Mike. You can't just show up out of a summer vacation, go in and not, kick a field goal 4th and 5 on your own 17. Got to practice, Mike. I'm talking about practice. Gostkowski, you got to practice, man. You got to practice. I'm talking about practice, Gostkowski. Is bad. You got one job. Come on. You got practice.
Is that because they both screwed you on your picks? Are you
That has a
blaming?
little bit something to do with it. But when you miss 3, I don't care who's betting on you if you miss 3 field goals and a key extra point. Come on.
To cover the spread.
So you're telling me
Yeah.
that you're
It's always because of this.
so you're telling me that you're blaming Gostkowski and McCarthy for your 2-5 week last week?
All I'm saying is
that what you're saying?
if Gostkowski would have had a 2-week, not 4-week,
Yeah.
a 2-week preseason, I think he might have got some of the kinks out. He's got a bad hip. He was injured last year. But come on. You got to practice, man.
So what happens then this week if you also lose and get punished? Are you going to blame somebody else that they didn't practice enough? It's week 2.
No.
You can't really blame
I
anybody.
think
Week
that
one
excuse
was
works for
all-
at least like the next month.
Yeah,
No. Week 1 was all my fault. As we said earlier in the week, it was all my fault, Mike McCarthy.
You had to do that chip shot field goal, like tie the damn game. We talked about it on this Wednesday. It's like you got to kick the field goal, you got to tie the game. You got a good team. Let's see what happens. And then they bitch about the Jalen Ramsey non-call. Okay, again, you got that interception call when they completely rocked Goff in the face. So like, what are you gonna do?
Almost every week you can look at something that threw a bet one way or the other, or a cover. Get back to Jesse James or whatever he was, dropped the damn ball.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
goal line
that was a
3 years.
classic
I
one.
screamed,
Yep.
broke the window in the house. So anyway, just a couple games preseason. I think this pandemic taught us a little bit. I think we're going to get away from a 4-week preseason. I think it's going to go to 2, and I think it's needed.
Nick, moving on, you really were looking at the quarterbacks in week 1 and kind of what you saw from them. Which quarterbacks do you buy? Which ones do you sell after week 1? And which ones do you really have no idea about?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that had a surprising week 1 and then a rough week 1. I think as far as buying into quarterbacks, first one, Cam Newton and the Patriots, there were question marks what Tom Brady was going to leave in his absence with Bill Belichick and Cam Newton coming in. We saw what he did in Carolina with the banged up shoulder. Had been injured the past couple of years, but really showed up in week 1 with his legs. And I think there's a lot of new packages that they're going to be able to install with Cam that they weren't able to do with Tom Brady. So I love Cam Newton this year to really emerge. Looks healthy, looks good. Also, Gardner Minshew down in Jacksonville. I'm off the Jag wagon, but my boy Gardner's still slinging touchdowns down there. Winning outright over the Colts last week was very surprising.
Isn't that
In
funny
week
that
one,
right when Nick changes, they win
As soon as
outright?
I
Hilarious.
still have the jersey though. I still have the jersey.
Oh,
but
you're a true fan
adding
then.
the addition on with rookie Laviska Shenault there at wide receiver is a nice addition for them. He had a big week last week, so definitely buying Gardner Minshew stock early on in the season. As far as selling quarterbacks, Mitch Trubisky, although he did win last week's game in Chicago late
Trash.
against the
He's
Lions,
trash.
he looked absolutely awful in the first half. Could not hit the broad side of a barn. I do not like Mitch Trubisky at all. I think this is a year where he is certainly on the hot seat. If they don't continue to win games, his job there in Chicago could be in jeopardy. Also selling on Baker Mayfield, although he did win the game against the Bengals this week on Thursday Night Football. I think he looked absolutely atrocious in week 1. Granted, he was playing against the Baltimore Ravens, but I think he's another quarterback right now that's on the hot seat if he doesn't make it work this year, especially with the weapons that he has on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. I think he's definitely be a quarterback that could lose his job if he doesn't make something happen this year for the Cleveland Browns. Other quarterbacks you just don't know about. Certainly there's all the veterans out there, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, and then you have the rookies or the guys that are the top dogs, Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes. I think Kyler's going to be an interesting one to watch, Drew. Both those guys in year 2 in Denver and Arizona respectively are going to be fun to watch in their second year to see how they do. Drew lost his first game with the Broncos, and then Kyler won his first game outright against the Niners with the Cardinals. So those guys are going to be 2 guys that are going to be interesting to watch. Same thing with Daniel
Trubisky
Jones
is
in New York.
terrible.
And also another quick sell Sam Darnold. The Jets are just absolutely terrible.
Yeah, the Jets. I cannot believe that number at 7. We'll talk about that later. But San Francisco's -7. They are not going to go 0-2. I'll tell you that right now.
Jets are getting real quick board prediction. I stuck my neck out.
Oh, really?
Jets.
I stuck my neck out.
Thank you. Jets, I think, will get the top pick in the draft.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's got to be Trevor Lawrence, so no more Sam Darnold.
or
I mean, that's an early hot take. That's an early hot take.
Or you
but-
sell the top pick for
100 linemen. 100 linemen.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what they need to do.
All right. It could happen. I don't know. I think they absolutely suck.
Unless you fire the coach, you decide you want to get out of the Darnold business and let the new coach pick Lawrence and go from there.
I wonder if Namath could still play.
Joe Namath, yeah, man. I
Probably
mean,
still play.
maybe he'll help
Last
him
time
out a
they
little
were
bit.
good.
Get a line and get
They need to
Namath,
get the Sanchez
Namath out of
back.
a retirement home. There you go.
That would be funny to see that. I mean, that you sell tickets. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point.
Sell tickets.
You can sell some tickets. You'll get some people out there. I like that.
He'd break a hip in a coin flip.
Without Le'Veon Bell, though, they're trash. Like, they can't move the football. Even with them, they couldn't move the football. Jets are bad. All right, let's move on to some fantasy talk, boys. So, big week last week for Devontae Adams, number one receiver, Zook. We got a chance to watch him and Aaron Rodgers absolutely just shred the Minnesota Vikings.
They were cooking.
Packers look good, by the way. Them against the Lions today could be a huge overbet. It was at 49.5. I think it moved up to 50.5 today. Lions always play up to Rodgers. They just got beat last minute by the Bears. I could see them performing. And then Aaron looks like he's unstoppable, so I think I like the over in that game. But Zook,
I do
Dad,
too.
Nick, what do you guys think about fantasy last week? Who performed and who underperformed?
Well, we certainly saw a lot of good performance. I think the biggest thing after week one is looking at the injuries and where the injuries are at. That's where you can get some fantasy value right now, especially on the Indianapolis Colts. No Marlon Mack, which means Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines are splitting the duties there. They were in a 3-back system last week, and now they're down to a 2-back system. So definitely looking at one of those guys, probably getting Naheem Hines on the waiver wire if you didn't already. Jonathan Taylor probably went in the draft. Down in Tampa, no Chris Godwin today. So Mike Evans is a full go. He looks healthy, and he might be – normally, again, I wouldn't like the Tampa Bay wide receivers because there's so many of them, but Scotty Miller is rising after last week's Zook's prediction of last week. Scotty Miller showed up for Tampa Bay, getting targets from Tom Brady, and no Chris Godwin today, so Mike Evans is full go.
He's going to be Tom's guy, Nick.
It's got to be.
He's going to be Tom's guy. Question mark around Las Vegas and Darren Waller. Didn't see much action last week with him going to the rookie Henry Ruggs quite a bit, but Henry Ruggs banged up now. Could see some Darren Waller action here in week 2.
I mean, again, though, they're playing the Saints. I don't know what you can do to look at Waller, even if he gets shut down this week. I think he's still got upside.
Yeah.
I mean, he was quiet week 1, but a lot of players were. And then now that you play the Saints, I think if you play the Saints, you can't really say – because I can't believe that's still at 5.5. I mean, I just think the
Ride
Saints
the Alvin Kamara train, too, because no Michael Thomas today.
Yeah, that's true. So
Got
I guess
a high ankle sprain.
Emmanuel Sanders is going to be their guy, and Cook will probably get some more targets than they did last week. So, yeah. I saw Dad's got the Breeze jersey on, so I'm guessing he likes the Saints today.
Well, yeah, but it's Monday night. But I tell you, Cook, I think he's going to have a big day because last week the Raiders didn't get much of a pass rush, and they lost both right tackles. So I tell you, it's going to be it's going to be some time that Breeze is going to have to throw today. So I think he's going to be pretty solid.
Real quick, some pickups that could have been big if you haven't had it in your league. I'm sure you've seen it if you're paying attention, but Malcolm Brown was available in a lot of leagues for the Rams. He played great. I mean,
I got him.
Him and Cam Akers pretty much are a 1-2 punch, but it looked like Brown was the guy there you want inside the goal line, inside the 5 or whatever. So, I mean, he's a guy to look at. I think, who's another one? Frank Gore could be a big one with the Jets. Again, they suck, but he's going to be the number 1 back now. I mean, Bell is out for a significant amount of time with a hamstring injury, so Frank Gore was available. I don't know. There's a couple others, like a couple of receivers, mainly running backs. Though it was the interesting kind of situation where if you're not the top team in your league, you'd rather be the worst in week 1 so you can pick up one of those running backs when injuries happen. Happens every single season in week 1. So your thoughts, DFS picks and everything else, send them in 314-877-8597. All right, boys, let's do it. Let's go to the pick'em standings. We have to crown a king today.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Let me get ready.
let's go ahead and give it to Zach Zook. Congratulations to Mr. Zook on winning week 1. Zook, would you like to make a speech on your behalf? There it is. I was waiting for the music to pop in.
I just want to say that 2019 was a really tough fall for the Zach Zook picking standings, but 2020 we made some adjustments, and we spent all off-season grinding, and we've come out hungry and ready to perform. And week 1 was just a sign of things to come.
So congratulations. 6-1 though. We saw what happened last year. I mean, you were bottom 2.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes. But it's a brand
tough.
new season.
It's a brand new season. Yeah, that's ancient history.
I will say, Dad is on the hot seat today because
I'm on no hot seat.
He's
It's
on
a
the hot seat today.
17-week season, for Christ's sake.
Plus playoffs.
plus
Plus
playoffs.
playoffs.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the way it looked last week. After last week, the pick'em standings. So Zook is 6-1. He is the king of the week. He moves up to the number 1 spot. Me and Nick, both pretty good weeks at 5-2. So we are tied for second. Big Web in third, way back in third. I mean, couldn't be farther back in third. He's at 2-5. Cooper goes 4-3 last week, and Lulu, another tough one at 2-5. So,
Yeah,
Dad,
it's
you're
a tough
not
one.
alone there. You got Lulu there too.
Well, good luck to Lulu today. We'll see.
Lulu,
Stay out
though,
of the basement.
Lulu, though, in the overall standing, she missed, I think, only one more game aside from the ones we picked.
Really?
Because I think she ended up with like 11 wins or something like that. I got to check.
Nice.
Lulu and I are
Yeah,
coming back.
Lulu was up there. Laura was up
Yeah, she's
there.
tied with me. 11 wins.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Well, you know what we do whenever people lose on this show? We punish them. They get punished for being terrible at picking football games. And gentlemen and ladies out there watching, I would like to show you week 1 for Big Web's punishment after going 2-5. Take a watch.
Hello, everybody. My name is Big Web, and I'm on From the 50 Football Show, and I suck at picking football games. So here's my frickin' punishment. I love the spread. It's only 2.5. Give me the Vikes. I don't think the Rams are close to them as far as a full, both sides of the ball football team. Give me Dallas in this one. Nope. I'll take the 3.5. Give me Brady on the road. Gentlemen, I know you don't like this pick, but I'm taking Atlanta for my dog of the week, baby, right there. It's time for Atlanta to do a little something. Let's start today. Boys, I like the Titans Monday night. Nope. My signs say I suck at picking football games. Check out my awful picks this Sunday at From the 50. So I got to stick this in my front lawn and advertise for a couple days. That's what you get for this shit. And it's Mike McCarthy's fault. I suck at picking football games. I suck at picking football games. Week 1. Yes, I do. This guy right here. Scoop, I suck. There you go.
So there you have it. Big Web gets punished, and Dad, you had that in all week. Those signs, it had to feel crappy for all those cars that passed by you to take a look and see that you suck at picking football games.
The whole neighborhood knows. We got a few honks out there, but let me tell you something, boys. It's a long season. I'm not doing this every week.
See, I mean, you might just want to keep them there. I think
I'm not keeping them there.
Now, you have them in right now,
Keep
right?
them in here.
No, you have them in still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to stay there all day today, and then you're going to continue once you lose
No. Once the ball kicks off at noon, probably Thursday
No.
night would have been good. Once the ball kicks off at noon, no.
You keep them there, though. 'cause
11:59. I'm going to get them and put them in your garage.
I think people would agree there's a good shot that you will probably lose again. So why don't you just leave them there? I don't see the problem with that. I mean, because that way you don't have to take them out and then re-put them in. Like, it's a lot of work for you. I'd rather just you keep them in there, let it go. I'll take the crown off Zook's hands, but you can keep the signs in your front yard.
I am ready to FedEx them to Nick, drive him to Zach's house, bring him over here. I don't care. I'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about a thing.
Now, did you see someone was chirping you on about your lawn?
Oh, I saw him.
On Twitter.
Hey, John. I got 4 words for you, John. Thanks for watching the show. That's 5. Fuck it. Nice to see you,
The
John.
show, you
Thank
made it 1. You said it pretty quick. It could be 1. It could be 4. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, right in there. Somewhere around
Yeah.
there, John.
Thanks
Yeah.
for watching the show.
So I took a picture of it, and I said, a little preview of Big Web's punishment after week 1. I took a picture of him with the signs, and John says, your landscaping could also use some help. I thought it was funny. I don't know.
The lawn's been in about a month, John. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Come on. You got to get chirped. It's the way it is. It's
You're
part
good,
of
John.
it.
Thanks for watching, buddy. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. It's all in good fun. So Big Web gets punished again. We want some more ideas, too. So if you have more punishment ideas, let us know here on Facebook, and we'll hopefully get some more creative ones. Again, I think this one was a pretty good one. Dad did say he was going to go to the corner QT and talk to people at the gas station about how much he sucked. Yeah. But maybe that's next week. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Maybe you'll do that next week.
Oh, either way, someone will do it next week. So that's the standings for the panel. Let's go ahead and look at the standings for the BOTB Pick'em. So pretty good week so far. Sherping is on top with Laura and Hessler. They're all tied for first with 12. This also includes this Thursday night game this past week, or I should say this week. Me and Lulu, as well as Tammy, Big Web, Zook, Zach Daly, and Colby, all in fourth with 11. And then you have Blake, Jake Scott, and Noah, all with 10. Tied for 11. So pretty competitive so far. And usually we've had it where if you're not in double digits pretty much every week, you're going to fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the way that rolls.
It's interesting to see how that works out, because at the end of the year is when it gets really good, because we also pick playoff games. So when you get all the way to the end, playoffs, you got playoff games going on, and it gets really competitive. So
I'll tell you what's interesting. How the hell can I get 11 wins on that and go 2-5 on the other?
It's funny how that works. You always seem to pick the ones that don't come through, like on the panel. You know what I mean? We do pick the toughest games. We say that all the time.
That's
most competitive football games.
That's right.
But at the same time,
Big Web, were your 2 wins your dog and your lock, too? The ones that you actually got to choose? Do you remember?
I don't know that suck.
I'm just curious, because that would really be like
No. His dog was Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's right.
Atlanta Falcons. By the way,
I was going to say, that would really suck. You're like, well, I didn't want to pick these 5 fucking games, but the 2 I actually got to pick, I won.
I have an anonymous fan, by the way, that reached out to me.
Yeah.
Won't give out their name, but did have a great idea. So he gave me a little input that Big Web always likes to ride one team's coattails the entire season, no matter if he gets screwed by them or not. His team this year, if you haven't guessed, is the Atlanta Falcons. And apparently we need to get you a punishment box where you have to reach in and grab whatever's in this box. Could be tarantula, could be
oh my god,
something like that. But it's a mystery box. You
What
can't
about
see it.
What about you guys?
Well, we haven't
not
been
doing
locked
that
in.
shit.
We haven't been locked in on a losing team though. So
Neither am I.
well, you are. I mean, you said
It's
okay.
one
Let's go.
loss. It's a
this is where I
17-week
should have had this
season.
ready. Dad said the Falcons were going to win the NFC South. Am I wrong? Did you say that?
No.
Yes,
no,
you
no.
did.
I said it.
Bullshit.
He loves the Falcons.
He loves the Falcons with an L,
Loves
big
the
L,
Falcons.
capital
Okay,
L. He
let's
loves
get
the
it.
Falcons.
Okay, producers, please rewind. Let's go to last week, or the preseason show, whatever the hell it was, and I will show you.
I'll pull it up while
where
you guys are fighting.
I said, I got a joke. I'm going to start this out with a joke. The Falcons are going to win, blah, blah, blah. Ha, ha, ha. Then we gave our picks. Cut it out.
That's
Stop
full
now.
Of shit.
No,
you said that for real. You love the
All the
Falcons.
audio.
And guess
All the
what? We'll go
audio.
to the picks. I
Ladies and gentlemen.
guarantee you picked the Falcons this week too. I know you did.
Hold the phone.
All right, here we go. You guys ready?
Tampa coming out of there as a wild card.
I agree.
I'd like to see Atlanta win the division.
Oh wow!
Really?
Really?
Whoa. Okay, I didn't go that far.
Whoa.
Maybe, but that's who I'm picking.
So you're saying that was all jokes?
He
okay,
had that
yeah.
ready, man. That's cool.
Just an old mess around.
I'll
The,
jokes
the-
around
the
here,
Atlanta
yeah.
Falcons are 0-1. Relax. It's a big, long season. Relax. Very tough conference down there. Let's go to the next subject. Thank you.
Okay, so I did want to say we still have time and still have spots available for the From the 50 show Pick'em. There are some people in the Pick'em that I know have not put their picks in. Again, you're behind 1 week, but you still got a lot of time to catch up. So please go online if you want to get in. From the 50 at From the 50 on Twitter. Scroll through. We have the Pick'em link to our Pick'em on there on our Facebook page. Click on it. It's free. And I tell you what, Nick's even going to put it in the comment line. Actually, can you put that in the comment line right now, Nick? Or are you on your phone?
Can you?
No, I'm on my phone.
Okay, he's on his phone. We're not going to do it then. Go look it up. You'll find it somewhere and join it. It's free. If you win the whole thing, you get a free NFL jersey courtesy of From the 50, Book It Sports, and the Brews on the Balcony Podcast Network. So there you go. All right. We are almost ready for the picks. But first, we need to go with the number one pup. Sorry, no offense to Lulu. The number one
number
pup.
two
Top
pup.
two.
1A,
Yes,
1B, the
top
1A.
two.
Top two. The 1A pup, Cooper's picks of the week. Here we go.
All right, Coop, go. All right, Coop. All right, Coop. All right, Coop. All right, Coop.
All right, so there's Coop's picks for this week. Thoughts on what he picked? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm still trying to figure out what his plan is and what he does.
He doesn't have a plan. He studies. He does what everybody else does.
I think you put one.
He
ahead
watches
of the other.
tape.
He watches tape like all the
watches
professionals
tape.
do. I don't understand.
He was so pissed that the All-22 didn't come out till like Thursday.
Yeah.
He was
I mean,
livid.
All this guy does is pick football games, and he knows his stuff. He went 4-3 last week, a little down week for the expert, but he's going to be back this week. So I'm excited to see where everybody else goes this week as well as we get ready for the week 2 picks of the season. Again, locks, underdogs, we do it all here, baby. We pick the top 4 games. We got Big Web's best bets. You get all your top picks here on From the 50. All right. Gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and start with the first game of the season. Dad's favorite, Atlanta Falcons, will be the first game we'll be picking today. So this is where it gets interesting. Cowboys were -4.5, -4 for the entire week. It has now gone all the way down to 3.5. Cowboys -3.5 points is according to DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to go ahead and start with Mr. Zook.
Well, I love that because I was riding the Cowboys all the way in this one to begin with. They cannot start out 0-2. I know with the additional wild card spot, now you get 7 teams per conference in the playoffs, so that statistic is going to get a little skewed. But statistically, you only have about a 10% chance to make the playoffs if you start out 0-2. These 0-1 teams, it's already pretty much make or break. The Cowboys at home, I think, will come out and play with their butts on fire, and they're a better football team than the Falcons. They should take care of them.
Big Web?
Boys, I was looking hard at Dallas and Atlanta this week. I checked everything out. It was looking like McCarthy was going to come back, and I was going to take him, but we dug into the injuries on the Dallas offensive line. The Dallas offensive line, whether you know it or not, is chewed up. They are chewed up. Watch the injury report today, which comes out about now, 10:30. The left tackle named Smith, a Pro Bowler, has a neck. He's got a neck problem. He didn't practice Friday. He didn't even do the damn walkthrough
I don't think he played last week either.
He's Pro Bowler. He's out. Both right tackles are out. The center's switched over.
How many options do you have to tell us that you're going to take the fucking Falcons? We understand you're going to take them. You don't have to give us 85 reasons.
Ladies
we know
and
you love
gentlemen,
them.
Take the Falcons plus the 4.5 in this football game.
This guy, man, he's going to get burned all year by the Falcons.
Give me Atlanta.
All right.
It's a stubborn pick, Big Web.
Nicholas?
Well, I think there's a lot of injuries to that Cowboys offensive line.
He's going
Dak
with the Cowboys.
Prescott can zing the ball very quickly, and one guy in particular, CeeDee Lamb, the speedster, is going to torch, torch the Atlanta secondary. Cowboys all the way.
Yeah, give me them boys, baby. Give me them boys. It's hard to go against them today. I think they're pissed about losing. Jerry doesn't like his team going 0-2. It's not going to happen, and the Falcons aren't good.
Can I say one more thing about this game?
Go ahead.
And I was on Dallas hard last week. This Jarwin guy, out for the season. The guy that they put in as a backup after he got injured, sucked with a capital S. I can't remember his name. Dropped 3 passes, can't block nothing. Look out. They need a tight end.
Okay, we move on. Ravens -7.5 against the Texans. You got a huge game last week against Lamar Jackson. Will he be the same guy he was last year? Because so far he looks pretty fucking good. Zook, what do you think?
Well, last week I picked the Browns to cover a big spread against the Ravens. And, the whole trading DeAndre Hopkins thing looked really cool for about the first 10 minutes of the season against the Chiefs. Another, big dog in the AFC. You have to pick the Ravens to cover the spread and win. I think that there's some overreactions to week 1. I think the Houston offense is in trouble. They are really, really in trouble. They lacked explosiveness against the Chiefs, a defense that is surely, I think, worse than the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to have some trouble today, and I don't think that anybody, until you slow down Lamar, I just don't know how you stop that offense. And because they can score points, that enables them to cover these bigger spreads a little easier.
Big Web?
I agree with Zook. Last week, Jackson, he only threw for 222, but 4 TDs and ran for 79. I'm sorry, that was last year. Last year against the Texans, he did that. So basically, Texans faced a similar attack last week in Kansas City. They lost by 14 points. I think this game is all about the Ravens.
Okay, Nick?
Yeah, not to keep the train going here, but the Texans didn't show me anything positive last week. They were playing the Chiefs, which again is another tough matchup. Ravens were playing the Browns, which was a favorable matchup for them. But too much Lamar Jackson. I think 7.5. If it got any higher than this, maybe you can think about going the Texans' way. But right now, Lamar Jackson is my fantasy quarterback.
Of course,
so
he
I
is.
got to ride with the Ravens on this one.
Nick, everything Nick picks is because it's on my fantasy team. Oh, they're on my fantasy team. That's why.
Put all your eggs in one basket. That's what they say to do in betting, right?
Is it? Oh yeah, sure. Is it a clean sweep? No, it's not. I'm going to take the Texans today. I tell you what, I love the Ravens at 6.5. 7.5 scares me. Really does. I think
TJ is the hook god this year, isn't he?
I tell you, I think Bill O'Brien is
Oh,
desperate.
God.
I think Deshaun Watson is awesome. If they can hopefully get their offense going a little bit more than they did last week, I think they'll be okay. They were okay early. Same thing that happened in that game, the AFC game last year, the AFC playoff game against the Chiefs. They started out great and then gave up a lead. A little bit different. They were only up by 7 and then got absolutely wrecked. I think in this game, though, you're going to see them battle back. You're going to see Bill O'Brien do a lot of things different because he's desperate. He is coaching for his job right now. So, and it's also 7.5. If it was 6.5, Ravens 7.5. I like the Texans.
How would you like to be O'Brien when he sees the schedule for this year? Well, you're going to open up against the Super Bowl champions. Then the second game's going to be against the 14-2 Baltimore Ravens. I mean, what a kick in the teeth.
It's a tough
Arguably
start.
the best athlete in the entire NFL.
Absolutely.
I mean, just unbelievable.
I picked every game for the whole season, like getting ready before week 1. And the Texans was, I think, the toughest month of September of anybody in the NFL.
Gotta be.
Next week they have somebody pretty good too, I think.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't know. I see that game. I think the Ravens are going to win, but I think kind of like the same cover with the Bengals on Thursday against the Browns. Late touchdown by Watson. Who knows? I think 7.5 is a lot of points to give Deshaun Watson, so we'll go with that. All right, moving on. We have the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. Sunday Night Football. Seahawks are -4 at home. Zook, what do you have?
I waffled a little bit back and forth on this one, but in the end, I had to go with Seattle. I really like the Pats this year. I do think they're going to make the playoffs, as I stated last week, but I really love the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks will be right up there with the Saints competing for the NFC title, and I just, again, it boils down to the same thing as Houston. I just don't think the Pats' offense is explosive enough or powerful enough to stay in this one against the Seahawks. I just don't think they can score enough points to keep up with Russell Wilson and the Seattle offense. I like what they're doing over there. I think it's going to win them a decent amount of football games. I also think they'll get better as the season goes on, but they're still trying to figure things out. Playing the Seahawks on the road, a little different than playing the Miami Dolphins. So give me the Seahawks.
Big Web?
Last week, New England's defense did not get much of a test from Fitz at all. But Seattle versus Miami's offense, Seattle's offense, Miami's offense are night and day. I think Seattle's going to score a lot of points here. I'm with Zook. I don't think they're going to be able to catch them. I think they're going to be able to outscore New England.
Nick?
Seattle.
This one is an absolute trap game for Seattle, but the line's moving in our favor. Chris Carson busted it open last week with 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf was in the mix. Tyler Lockett, a lot of weapons. It's gonna be that battle against New England's defense. That's the matchup, certainly to watch. But last week one of the keys, I had New England -7 last week against Miami, which they did end up covering. but Miami was able to hang around in that game for quite some time. I don't think that's going to be the case this weekend with Seattle. I think Seattle is going to jump out early with that offense. And so unless the Patriots defense can hold up Seattle's powerful offense, I think Seattle will win this one outright. The 4.5 is moving down to 4, but I'm going to stick with Seattle here as well.
Coop's going with the Patriots. He did love the Patriots. He likes Cam. He likes the way they played last week. However, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, boys. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks may be my favorite team, second favorite team in the NFC. They look so good in week 1, too. Scored a lot of points. Carson did look good, and he only had 6 carries. So it hurts me as a fantasy owner of Chris Carson because it seems like they want to put Carlos Hyde in the mix inside the 5. However, it makes them a lot more dangerous, and Carson looked good after coming back from an injury, too, after the offseason injury. So I like what they're doing. I like what they have overall, and I think they're a dangerous team. Pats still have a lot of things to figure out. I do think the over is going to hit in that game. It's really low, around 45, but I don't know. I think Cam's going to fall down at the end. So give me the Seattle Seahawks in this one. All right, let me clear my my little graphics here. Okay, we got the New Orleans Saints against the Las Vegas Raiders. First game in Vegas since the move, and the Saints are -5.5.
The Raiders are opening up that new stadium out there in Las Vegas. I can't wait to see it on TV. But I tell you what, it's going to get crashed. I think that the Carolina Panthers scoring what did they score, TJ? 30 points
30.
On the Raiders last weekend. I think that was more about the Raiders defense than it is about Carolina's offense. The Raiders defense is atrocious. It is just terrible. They can't cover a soul. And even though Michael Thomas is going to be out, they can't really stop the run either. Look at what Christian McCaffrey did to them both on the ground and through the air last weekend. Who are they playing this week? Alvin Kamara, who is a very similar style to Christian McCaffrey. I think that the Saints are just going to chew them up offensively and spit them out. I feel pretty good about that Saints pick.
Dad?
As we talked about earlier, Vegas didn't have much of a pass rush last week. Now you're giving Breeze time. If the same thing happens, you got giving Breeze time. Even with Thomas out, I see him putting up a lot of points. New Orleans put up 34 last week against 11th-ranked Tampa defense, and Vegas gave up 30 to Carolina. So you can see New Orleans is going to score here and cover the game.
Nick?
Yeah, I like New Orleans all the way on this one. Kamara is going to have a big game with no Michael Thomas out. Jared Cook thinks also going to have a big game. And really the Raiders are banged up with Ruggs being injured. And then also, obviously, Josh Jacobs is their go-to guy there in the backfield and really the centerpiece of their entire offense. Cam Jordan's going to swallow him up. So I got the Saints here all the way.
Coop actually went on a limb and took the Raiders. We'll see. He'll have a clean sweep if he hits that. I believe Lulu also took New Orleans. And I'm also taking New Orleans. I think the number is unbelievably low. I know Michael Thomas is out, but Drew Brees makes it happen. They still got a lot of weapons on an offense. I just don't see the only thing that does scare me is Josh Jacobs. I don't think the Bucs really gave the Saints a good look on a good running game, so I'm interested to see how Jacobs does against that defense, but I think New Orleans will get a lot of pressure inside and shut him down. So I also like the New Orleans Saints in this one. All right, gentlemen, we go to the Toilet Bowl game of the week, which this week we have the New York G-Men plus 5.5 against the Chicago Bears.
Well, I went back and forth on this. I had initially picked the Bears, and I wanted to see what the line did. It pretty much stayed the same. I can't lay 5.5 with a team is like the Bears. I just don't think the Bears are good. I mean, am I wrong in that thinking? Am I biased Packers fan?
Last year,
right.
the year before.
Absolutely right.
If you somehow think that the fourth quarter is going to replicate into this game, and now I understand the Giants' defense is bad, but probably pretty comparable to the Lions' defense last week, we'd imagine. No,
yeah.
And I think the Giants' offense, it at least they didn't put up that many points, but the Pittsburgh defense, really good. They'll be facing a step down from that today with the Chicago Bears, still a solid defense. But I don't see Saquon getting held to 6 yards rushing again. I think that the Giants have enough to at least cover the spread. I don't feel good about who's going to win this game either way. In fact, if I had to pick one way, I think I'd pick the Giants. Mm-hmm. But I think this one's going to be tight. I can't lay 5.5 with a team like Chicago. I can't do it.
Dad?
Like Zook said, the Bears had to score 21 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Lions. They gave up 93 yards to AP last week. What do you think they're going to do against Barkley? Give me the Giants plus the points.
Nick?
It's an interesting game because Trubisky, I think, will have a better week than he did last week. I said sell on Trubisky, and with this Giants team, I'm buying Daniel Jones. I'm buying Saquon Barkley this week. No chance that he doesn't have a big game today against that Bears team, even with a good defensive line on the Bears side. I think this is a field goal game. Bears still might win the game, but will not cover the spread. I like the Giants.
Yeah, Coop's going to go ahead and take the Bears. I tell you what, Cooper is either going to have
Cooper on an island
week, or he's going to be absolutely wrecked. I like the Giants plus 5.5 too. I mean, they look pretty good. Jones did good overall against that Pittsburgh defense. They didn't get in the end zone enough, but he made some plays with his feet to get away from that pressure, which may be one of the best pressures in the NFL. So I like what I see from Daniel Jones. I also think Saquon's not going to be held to less than 10 yards today. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants 2 plus 5.5. I also think this line is because of what Chicago did in the fourth quarter. Bears are not a good football team. They're not a great football team. So I think that's a great pick. Whoever took the Giants. All right, let's move to underdog picks of the week, gentlemen. Zook, we'll start with you.
I got the Minnesota Vikings as my underdog pick of the week. They are on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. I know they broke your heart last weekend, Big Web, but I don't see why these two teams are considered even. I mean, one lost to the Packers, who, it was still a bad loss for them, but the other team lost to the Jaguars,
right?
And they lost by a touchdown. So I don't believe in the whole Phil Rivers thing. They lost Marlon Mack. That might actually solidify what they're going to do in their backfield because now they have less mouths to feed. They can establish, I think, more of an identity rather than going with that three-headed monster committee approach. So they're going to obviously try to run the football down Minnesota's throat, but Minnesota, pretty stout run defense, so then it's going to fall on Phil Rivers, and I'm of the belief that Phil is shot. I also think it's Phil Rivers, and I feel like that Minnesota defense is going to give him a ton of fits. He's going to turn the ball over a couple times today. It'll be a bounce-back performance for Minnesota.
Dad?
Well, Phil Rivers or no Phil Rivers, I'm staying off Minnesota. I had him written down all week. I scratched through them. I don't like the pain it causes. Minnesota will be back at some point during the year, but I smell a 0-2 out of them. I'm going to slide over to the New York G-Men, and I'm doubling up, baby.
Wow.
Taking those points.
Wow. I don't hate that. I do like that pick a lot. Giants plus 5.5. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Nick.
Well, we're going down south, boys. Jacksonville Jaguars and Gardner Minshew are my dog today. They had a big week last week. I forget who they're playing. What's the spread and who are they playing? I don't have the game pulled up. I just know I love the Jaguars.
This is why I love them. I
Jaguars
don't know why.
This is why this is the show you fucking watch on Sundays, baby.
There's a
Let's
difference,
go.
right?
At
there.
least
Let's
on
go.
CBS, the Jaguars are on the road playing the Titans plus 9.5.
No, they're 7.5 now.
plus
They're
No,
down
it's
to
7.5.
It's down to 7.5
It's
now.
7.5.
they can cover that 7.5. Let's go, Jacksonville.
Book it.
Book it.
Book it.
I love Jacksonville. Who are they playing? God, that's a classic.
Clip that off.
Coop's going to take the Raiders. I don't know why, but he was so emphatic about picking the Raiders against the Saints.
That poor dog's been putting signs in his front lawn.
I'm telling you, I was shocked myself when I saw that pick, but he wants them bad. Wedwick, you'll also be happy with me. I'm also taking the Vikings plus the 3. I think they're going to win the game outright. I love them today, mainly because Philly screwed me last week, and I really have. Or Philly's playing L.A. Here, I just pulled a Nick. Sorry. Indy played like shit against Jacksonville. Rivers is just not that great anymore. The Marlon Mack's out. I don't know. I don't know why they're not favored in this game. I think Minnesota's going to come out swinging. I think Dalvin will run all over their ass. So I like the Vikings in this one as well. All right, locks of the week.
So I'm going to tinker a little on this. I think I texted you Green Bay. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills on the road, plus they're minus 5.5. So I don't know if that line's moved any. You'll have to double check it for me. But I like the Buffalo Bills to cover that spread, similar to the New England Patriots last weekend. I just think as long as they have Fitzy in there, I just don't think the offense is very explosive. So therefore, that lends, I think, to an easier time for the Bills to cover the spread. I don't think they'll have to score all that many points to cover the 5.5. I think they get them by at least a touchdown. The Bills are a more talented team than the Patriots, and the Patriots had no problem covering a similar spread last week.
It's still 5.5.
5.5. All right, perfect. Buffalo.
Big Web?
I am also on Buffalo, and I'll tell you why. This is very, very simple. Miami could not move the ball versus New England's defense last week. Buffalo's defense is better. Buffalo can score. This is a lock. Take Buffalo.
Nick?
I'm on San Francisco today. Give me the updated spread, though, please.
It's -7, I believe. I'll double check.
Line
but,
may have moved.
It's -7.
And who are they playing?
The Jets.
The New York Jets.
I don't have the games up. I only have my picks up. I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't leave my phone. So
Right.
I'm not familiar. I know I picked them for a reason, though. Yeah, they're playing the Jets.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely terrible.
I did.
Absolutely
17 beers ago.
Terrible football team. Frisco loses in week 1. They cannot go 0-2. No George Kittle today, but big game coming from Raheem Mostert on my fantasy team.
Of course.
Frisco all the way.
Coop's going with the Cowboys, -5.5. I think he believes it's a must-win, is what he told me in that one. Do you have Lulu's lock? I believe is Green Bay -6.5.
Oh, that's okay. Gotcha.
Or
Yeah.
now they're -6, so she got a -6.
Lulu is going with her adopted father's team and picking the Green Bay Packers.
There you go. Wedwick's really going to love me. I'm doubling down on the Vikings today. Absolutely love them. Like, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. Lock of the century. Minnesota's going to win this game outright. I can't believe they're getting 3.
Did you
Bet 'em
pick
money
him as your
line.
dog?
I picked them as my dog and my lock.
So
yes.
you're tripling down.
We didn't pick the regular game, though.
Oh.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
He's
that
right.
that was last week.
No,
I'm
no,
just,
no.
I'm just
Okay,
thinking
okay.
I picked him as my dog, too. So
Yeah.
I'm
No,
being
yeah.
an idiot.
Man, it's going to be a
Doubling
fun
down.
Colts victory today.
There's no way. I can't believe they're getting 3. Take a money line. That's my lock of the century is the Minnesota Vikings. Take them right now. Clip it. I'm either going to be 6-1, 5-2, or I'll be 1-6.
Go ahead and clip it now. We'll use it in the bloopers.
I think they look good today. So, all right, that's our picks for the week. Big Web. We will get to. We do have a voicemail coming up here in a second, but first we have Big Web's best bets of the week.
Boys and girls, I'll tell you what. I don't have my phone with me. What are those
Oh, yeah,
tickets?
I forgot about that.
But I do know them. I do know them. So we went a little mix of money line and straight spread bet on Buffalo minus the 5.5.
I got
believe
him.
is the
I
current.
got him.
And then my money line pick.
So here's what we got. So the first one we have, I believe it's a 5-way parlay.
Okay, you ready for this? The reason I took this, TJ will read the teams off to you, but they're all money line. These are all solid favorites that we have talked about on this show in the last 45 minutes all the way through, and this whole crew is solid on all these picks, minus the spreads. These guys just got to win the football games. Go ahead.
So you got 49ers, you got Bills, Cardinals, Chiefs, and Ravens. One more time. Niners, Bills, Cardinals, Chiefs, Ravens. $100 on those money line bets pays you. It doesn't show me. $420. There it is.
$420.
Okay.
So we're betting that. We're putting 100 down on those 5 teams. Money line gets you $420. We're also making a $200 wager on my 2-way.
2-way is Bills -5.5 and Seahawks -2.5. Bills -5.5, Seahawks -2.5. 2-way parlay, 200 pays out $618.
Right, 618. All the Seahawks just got to win by a field goal, and Buffalo's got to cover against Miami 5.5. I love both those picks, and we'll get $600 out of that. So we're $1,000 bankroll. We lost 2 in week 1. We're betting 3 today. Good luck.
There we go. Let's see. Hayden says, "Congrats, Zook." He goes, "It's not how you start; it's how you finish on picking." Wedwick says, "I love you, Zook. Vikings +3 is easy money." He says, "TJ, I knew I liked you," and then he puts heart eye emojis for that.
By the way, Hayden hit both of his picks.
Oh,
last
I know.
week.
We're gonna hear it in a second.
Oh, he's coming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're
My
gonna hear
bad.
it.
He's got a 2-minute and 17-second voicemail, so I'm guessing he's gonna. So last week we gave him shit because he picked his locks were the Bengals and the Jaguars. We laughed at him about the Jaguars. We chuckled a little bit about the Bengals. and he won both, and the Jaguars won outright. So let's see what Hayden had to say about last week's performance.
Good morning, gentlemen. Another beautiful Sunday. Make some money. Hayden calling again. I just want to say it's okay that you guys gave me shit. I forgive you last week. It worked out in my favor, so I'll just get the last laugh.
Okay.
With that being said, I'm going. I have 5. Forgive me, I'm driving right now. I have 5 plays that I like. First being Buffalo minus 5.5 against Miami. Buffalo didn't play well last week, and they still won by 10 against the Jets. And I just think they're going to crush the Dolphins this week. So I think 5.5 is a good number to get. I have Atlanta plus 6 against Dallas. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. I don't think either team is going to stop the other. So I'm taking Atlanta plus 6. I also have the Giants plus 6 against the Bears. Last week was a fluke for the Bears. I think Trubisky is horrible. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win that outright. I'm going my favorite team this week, Jags.
Wow.
Plus 9 against the Titans.
Well, they're 7 now. 7.5.
You know, I mean, the Jags are my team this year. I think that everybody was giving them crap, saying they're going to go defeated. They're not going to win a game. I think they win this game. I really do. And I'm taking them plus 9. I'm not taking a money line. But just like last week, I would not be surprised to see them win this game.
Wow.
And then I have a two-way teaser that I think is just free money. I know that's bad luck saying that, but I'm going to go it's a two-way teaser, 6 points, minus 120 odds. I'm going Baltimore minus 0.5 against the Texans, and San Francisco minus 1 against the Jets. I'm aware Kittle's not playing, but I don't think that matters at all. So basically, Baltimore needs to win outright, and San Francisco needs to win by more than 1 point to cover. So those are my plays. Good luck this week, and talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, thanks Hayden for your picks. Again, we knew that was coming on the shit talk. It's deserved. I mean, I get it. He
was
won
fair. He did good.
He was fair. Yeah, he wasn't over the top about it. He was fair. He picked right. So if you do want Hayden's picks so far on the show, he's been picking. He's 2-0 when he calls in. Again, we'll go through those. He has Bills, Falcons, Giants, and Jacksonville, and then his main bet he said his lock. 6-point teaser would make Baltimore minus 0.5 and San Francisco minus 1. I don't know how that couldn't lose.
That leads right.
He feels so emboldened by his dogs last week.
Oh,
He's going to play with the fire.
Go for it.
He's like Icarus, flying way too close to the sun.
That leads
going to get burned.
That leads right into that 5-way money line. Same teams. Boom, 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 boom. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So how do you think about somebody being on the Falcons with you today?
I like that. He's reading. He's watching the injury reports. Yeah, he's a smart man.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, do we have anything else? Nothing?
I'm not.
Yes.
What do you got,
Nick? Breaking news today, Andy Reid will be wearing the same visor with defogging technology.
Chiefs by 50. Chiefs by 50. I love it.
Defogging technology.
I fucking love it.
I think he looks like Buzz Lightyear with that on.
I just saw that on the TV.
Beautiful stuff. All right. Well, guys, thanks. Good luck this week.
Fat Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. I didn't see that one.
To infinity and beyond, bitches.
Save that. For Nick, for Zook, for Big Web, I'm TJ. Good luck in week 2. We'll see you next week.